Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. Today's project is this very glamorous, very beautiful box with a sequined, can you see that? Beautiful sequined shaker lid. I think this would be really great for New Year's Eve if you were having a party and want to do some little table favours, or you're going to a party, want to take a little hostess gift. This just speaks glam, sophistication, party to me. Some very sort of subtle stamping on the sides, can you see that? And this gorgeous silver ribbon, which just slides off like that. And then it does have a connected lid that just flips up like that. And then you've got a really quite decent sized box actually. It's 3 by 3 square and it's 1 3/4 of an inch deep, so you can get quite a lot of goodies in there. How much fun is that lid? Okay, so hope you like the box, and I'm now going to go and show you exactly how to make it. Okay, so we're going to start with some scoring, and what I have here is a piece of soft sky cardstock. It measures 10 inches by 7 inches. I'm going to start with some scoring along the long side. I'm going to go at 1.5 inches. 4.5 inches, 6 inches and 9 inches. Okay, all of the dimensions are on my blog as always, craftycarolinecreates.com, so if you do miss any you can pop over there and write them down. Then we are going to score the short side at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 5 inches and at 6.5 inches. Okay, move the scoreboard out of the way, take off the cardstock. I'm just going to bring in my grid paper just to give me something softer to work on, and I'm going to use my bone folder, and we're just going to quickly score and burnish all of those score lines. Okay. There you go. And last one. Oh, I seem to have some little red scratches on my cardstock. Oh, wonder where that's coming from. Never mind. We'll keep going. We're going to do some cutting, and then we will do a little bit of stamping and some more cutting. So stay with me for the cutting. It is a little bit complicated, not that complicated, but a little bit. So what we need to do is start down this end, which is where we have the where we did our 1.5 inch score line to begin with. We're going to start by cutting up across 2 of the score lines in the bottom corner. So we're taking off 1 flap, 2 flap. And then we're going to cut off the bottom flap there, like that. I'm just going to trim that. I didn't cut that very straight. There we go. That's a bit neater. Okay, I'm working along the same end. We're going to cut up again the same 2 score lines. And then again, the next line we are going to cut up across the same 2 score lines again. Okay, then we are going to cut off from this flap this bottom bit here, just like that, and then we are going to cut off these 4 sections here. Okay, so we're left with that sort of shape on that side. Then just flip it round and you're going to do exactly the same. So start at this end again, cut up across your 2 score lines, and then we're going to cut off the bottom flap there. Okay, then we're going to cut up here again, 1, 2, and again 1, 2, there like that. Okay, and then we are going to cut off the bottom there like that, and then we're going to cut off this 2-section piece here. Okay, so just cut that off, and you can see that there like that. Okay, I'll just leave that there for a second so you can see what pattern we are left with. My baby's crying, so I just need to go and talk to him, and then I'll be back in a second to continue. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. He's sorted and back to sleep now, so we can keep going. So as I said, this is the shape that you will end up at, and we're just going to round very quickly a few corners. So the first two we're going to round is these two here on this flap. 1, 2, and then we're just going to round these two here as well. 1, 2, 3, and the last one there. Okay, so just rounded those corners very quickly. Before we start building our box up, we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and then we are going to cut our window for our shaker. So stamping first, and I have some matching Soft Sky ink, and I've already mounted up the stamp here. This is from Designer's Tin of Cards, and there are some really quite cute little sort of starbursty stamps. I did try it with this one, but I think it works better with this little one. So all we are going to do is a little bit of stamping, and we're going to stamp on these 4 sections here, because these are going to be the sides of our box when we fold it up. So there is really no right or wrong way. You know how to do this, tone on tone, as we go round. Just going to rotate my stamp, and this is just adding that little extra, you know, bit of party spirit to the box. And I think, as I said, these would be great as favours on New Year's Eve. That was kind of my thinking when I was making it up. And it just adds that little bit of party swirl, and then we'll turn it around and do the last one. This ink pad's a bit dry, I need to get it re-inked. I think we should just about be able to get there. Okay, I think that will do. So you can see that it's very subtle, and also, as I said, my ink pad's a little bit dry. You can see it just adds a little bit of interest. The last thing we need to do is cut our aperture in what is going to be our lid, and we are going to use the Layering Squares Framelits dies for this. Now these are really good value dies. These are the squares. We also have circles and ovals. Just look how many dies you actually get in there. You get a lot, don't you? And for our aperture, we're going to use one of the scallops. So you get scalloped and plain square dies, and we are going to use the just checking, the 2 1/4 inch scallop, which I think is this one. Just going to whip it out and check. Yep, that's going to give me a 2 1/4 inch aperture with this pretty scalloped edge. These are designed so that they layer up on top of each other, so you get the plain squares and the scallop. We're just going to use the scallops. So let's bring in our big shot. Here it comes. Okay. Just going to make it easy to put my card through by folding those pieces in, and then this is obviously going to go through the middle of my big shot. I've got my magnetic platform, but I haven't got it out for some reason, so just using the general multi-purpose platform for this. And I'm just going to position that in the centre of my window, just like that, and I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape to secure that in place. Okay, then I'm going to pop on top my second cutting plate, if that hasn't twisted. No, it hasn't. Pop my second cutting plate on top, and then I'm just going to push that all into the big shot, and I like to go all the way through, just like that, and then come all the way back, and that should ensure that we get a really crisp cut. Let's take that off. We will slide the big shot out of the way. I'm just going to be careful when I peel off this bit of washi tape, and then, oh, it hasn't, why has that not worked? Oh, you know, I haven't used that multi-purpose platform for a while, but it hasn't punched that out. That is very annoying. these dies usually work brilliantly. So I'm just going to line that back up, and we'll go through the big shot again. Oh, it's not very good, is it? Maybe I should film it again to prove to you that it does work really well. So just gonna pop that back, and if you wiggle your die, you should be able to get it to go back pretty much into the same hole. There we go. So this is now turned into a masterclass of what happens if your die doesn't work. If it doesn't cut. So you just go wiggle that and it will go back into the hole. So I'm going to put that back through, and this time I'm just going to use a shim of cardstock, and that will just make sure we do get a really good pressure on the die. Oh, and I put my box through. This is going wrong, isn't it? Look at that. Let's fold that out. There we go. Just about got away with it. Right. Let us see. There we go. Perfect. So I guess it's a big shot issue, not a die issue. Maybe I need to invest in some new plates, or maybe the new multi-purpose platform would sort me out. Okay. Just ignore that little bit where I've bent it. You should fold these out of the way. Okay. So now we're going to start building up our shaker frame. This is the foam adhesive strips. These are specially designed for making shaker cards. You've probably seen these before if you've made a shaker card. So let me just show you. It's basically like a dimensional, but it's a really, really long strip of dimensional. So how long are these? I want to say maybe 10 inches, 9 inches long. Okay. And not going to use that quite yet because I forgot to show you what else you need to do. You need to cut out 2 pieces of window sheet. These I cut out using the same layering squares dies. And I used the 2 3/4 inch square for these, and then I took a sweet sugar plum piece of cardstock and cut out a 2 3/4 inch square, and then I cut that out with the same scallop that I used before, so the 2 1/4 inch square. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of fuse around the edge of the window. Okay, that we cut out. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick my square down on top of it, just like that. Okay, and then we are going to use these what did I say they were called? Foam adhesive strips, and we're just going to line that up around there, and then you can just snap the end off. I'm just going to use it to make a frame around the edge of my shaker card. Maybe I shouldn't have said to snap that. Cut them off nicely. Okay, you just want to make sure you get a sealed frame, and you're going to need to use 2 of the strips. So let's just grab another one out. Okay, you get 2 of these in each pack, so you do get a bit more. You get 2 of these in a pack, and then let's line that up, and we're just going to finish it off. There we go. Okay, so that is our shaker lid pretty much made. Before we add our sequins, I have a top tip for you. This is my embossing buddy, which is basically a little sack filled with very fine powder. Takes the static off before you do any heat embossing. But what I recommend is just at this point, just go around and tap that round the edge of that foam. And what that will do, the foam, the powder will stick into any of the adhesive at the bottom, which means your sequins won't get stuck on it instead. Okay, so for sequins we are going to use the Fancy Frost sequins. These sequins are Pool Party Sweet Sugar Plum, which is where my colour inspirations come from, and then I think this is what they're calling Frosted Gold, but very pretty. So I'm going to shake these in quite liberally. You do want to put quite a few in, or I want to put quite a few in, you know, but these are going to be used on New Year. You can never have too much bling, in my opinion. Okay, and then we are just going to peel off the backing from our strips that we stuck down. Okay, and then get our second piece of window sheet, which I've done a really stupid thing. Put it down somewhere. There it is, found it. I thought, you know, when you put it down in its window sheet and you can't see where it is, I thought I'd done that. And that is just going to stick on top of our, there we go, on top of our foam strips. And then what I have put down and lost is a little circle, that little sweet sugar plum frame that I had. Here it is. And then that I'm just going to stick on top like that, just to make it look a little bit neater. So I'm just going to put some fuse on the back of here. Here's my fuse. I'll just put that on two sides for now, just for speed. I'm just going to line that up. And I don't mind if you can see a little bit of it through the window. I think it just adds a little bit of extra to it. So you can see there. Woo! Pretty. Okay, so all that's left for us to do now is build up our box. So we're just going to put some fuse on the back of these strips here, on these flaps even. Okay. You could notch these out. I forgot to notch them out actually, but it doesn't really matter, but you know, you can get that slightly neater finish by notching those out. And then we're just going to fold this up just like that. And there we go. And then these two flaps here will fold in and over, and what these do is they act to, when you close the lid, just stops the lid sort of pushing in on itself. So then we can just slide this inside, and there we go, it closes up very nicely. Yeah, so the last thing I've done is added some beautiful ribbon. This ribbon is gorgeous, has to be seen to be believed. This is the glitter ribbon in Sweet Sugar Plum, only available for a short while in the catalogue, in the autumn winter catalogue even. And how we are going to wrap this up is we are going to go across this corner like this and up this side here. One of my favourite department stores in Copenhagen, which is where my husband is from, it's very old school and they wrap everything up for you beautifully, and they do some amazing ribbon work, and this is how they wrap up a lot of their boxes. And it's just, you know, it's just such a simple thing that they do, but it just makes everything feel amazingly more luxurious. So hopefully you saw that. I think that might have been depressingly off camera, but you can see hopefully how I did it. So over one side, underneath, and then up the back here. I'm just going to tie that in a flat knot, I think. I don't want to risk a bow. This video has gone wrong enough as it is. Put that on like that. And how pretty is that? That just says New Year's Eve sparkle to me. What does it say to you? Beautiful. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll tidy all this away and you can then see it. Very cute little gift box with that little additional feature of the shaker lid. Yeah, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch, and hopefully we'll see you watching again soon. Thanks for now. Bye bye.